Hi guys, it's a talk about xDai. It's the only talk before now and lunch, so I'll try to be fast. We have like 30 minutes. I will overview what is xDai and why we built it and what are our plans. And well, you can ask a question because it's quite a tiny group of people now. You can ask questions whenever you have them. And stop me with questions, so it's better to ask questions in the middle. So xDai is the first ever stablecoin with breached DAI as a native token. That's our punchline. And it's powered the biggest pop-up economy powered by crypto in history, right? So pop-up economy means that something happened in offline, and everyone participated. And ETH Denver used to buy food and drinks using Burner Wallet, which is a web wallet within the browser. And that's actually what cryptocurrencies promised us from the beginning. So I think about this as an electronic peer-to-peer cash system where people used to buy food and vendors received this cryptocurrency from people and on-ramped and off-ramped using crypto. So when we think about xDai and this idea, for us, we think that it's kind of irresistible to use after you tried it. And this idea was born on ETH Berlin Hackathon in last year. And we launched it in October 2018 with MakerDAO, Protofire, and Giveth as validators of this network. So when we think about this network, balances of user balances are stable, right? They're denominated in DAI. Native currency is DAI, right? The usage fee is stable. The usage fee means what we spend on gas for typical transactions. And the supply of the network is quite small at the moment. It's like $13,000 worth of DAI of native token, but the available liquidity of native token is massive, right? It's like, I don't know, $90 million something DAI, which can be breached on this sidechain. So the model is, at the moment, because it's a layer 2 sidechain, it's blazing fast. And we don't call this type of network like empty network. We call them networks with empty capacity. Andreas coined this term, and we think that that's very important to understand that most of the infrastructure that we have now, besides Ethereum and sometimes Bitcoin, is with empty capacity, right? We have so much infrastructure available, but not enough dApps to fill all this capacity. And most of the infrastructure we can see now have some form of subsidized platform usage. Here the same. So subsidized platform usage is when the infrastructure is saying, okay, guys, this platform has 0 gas fee or very low gas fee or no transaction fees and so forth. But someone is paying for it. And for most cases, like infrastructure, the people who provide the infrastructure for you paying for this, right? The same with xDai. So the consensus itself, what we call proof of autonomy for now, and a form of delegated proof of stake in future, is environmental friendly with proven scalable and security assumptions. Means that this proof of autonomy consensus works for POA Network and some sidechains based on the same protocol for years and secure assets for, let's say, hundreds of millions worth of USD for years. Right, and scalable means that in this case, and this is why we're on this Scalability conference, is that people can run their own sidechains based on the same protocol without compromising security of sidechain of other sidechains. Right, and in proof of work, it's quite hard to do this. If you launch your own network based on proof of work, there is a problem, right? Because you have to move some of mining power to another chain. In proof of autonomy type of consensus, you just use the same mechanisms and select a group of validators who are, like, let's say, non-affiliated with each other and incentivized to provide security for the network. And the security of next sidechain is less dependent on let's say, on the previous sidechain, right? So the validator set, this is what protects the network from Zipple attacks, is managed by self-governed DAO. Means that validators have equal votes within this DAO, and this DAO can regulate itself. So we call it self-governed type of networks. And also this DAO is self-upgradable, so validators can decide on upgradability on this sidechain, or they can disable upgradability if they want. So the idea of xDai that it's a sidechain of Ethereum 1.0, and it's an interface which is easy to understand for existing Ethereum developers with what we call dynamic validator set. So validators can onboard new validators or offboard validators which are, let's say, malicious for the network. And it's governed by this exclusive self-governed DAO. So exclusive means that validators define rules who are validators, and they might accept new validators or not based on their own on-chain decisions. And there are some problems in this type of exclusive group, that there are no economic mechanisms to add or remove validators from this chain besides of these decisions of this exclusive group. So the native token of sidechain is DAI, right? And the idea of having one token on another chain as native token is called Hardspoon. It was introduced by Cosmos team back in days, Cosmos and Vitalik too. And we think that xDai is one of the first Hardspooned network from Ethereum protocol. So the supply of the xDai is one-to-one from locked DAI on the mainnet. So when users lock DAI in smart contracts of xDai smart contracts on Ethereum network, the validators of the xDai chain relay these transactions to xDai, and this token bridge is actually a part of consensus of this xDai chain. And the native token is bridged one-to-one, so one DAI is always equals to one xDai. Well, there are possible differences in balances. For example, someone can lose access to their xDai on the xDai side, and this DAI on Ethereum side will be locked forever. But when the bridge is operating, it's one-to-one atomic swap between two EVM networks. So this simple illustration how this bridge is working. So when user, MN, here locks his DAI on the Ethereum side, the group of relayers relay this transaction on to xDai chain. And for xDai, we have something like 3 or 4 multi-sigs. So 3 signatures from 4 validators are required to relay this event from chain to chain. And each lock event mints new xDai on the xDai side, and each burn event unlocks DAI on the Ethereum side. Right? There is aggregation of this affirmations of validators on the xDai side, and we utilize benefits of layer 2 consensus. For example, bridge smart contracts are whitelisted on xDai chain side, and it's free for validators to aggregate signatures. And also, this aggregated signature can be relayed back to the mainnet by any user. So this way, we solve so-called exit problem when users afraid that they will not be able to relay their funds from sidechain because validators will stop to aggregate the signatures. So they don't have problems with aggregating signatures because they run out of money in their accounts. And if they run out of money on their accounts on Ethereum mainnet, then user can relay this aggregated signature from mainnet to from xDai to mainnet. So that's the model of token bridge. There are multiple modes of our bridging solution. The one mode which is used specifically for xDai, it's lock-on-lock of ERC20 token on one chain and mint and burn of a native token on a side chain. So this model involves integration of the bridge into the consensus of this sidechain. And this is the first type of Hardspoon sidechain integrated with interoperability solution between 2 networks. Right? At the moment, the let's say market cap of this network is quite small, and it's like $13,000, and that's whatever people relate from network to network. But on the other hand, we can see that bridge was used by 875 unique users, and it's quite exciting that you can see real usage of the bridge between two networks, and the market cap of the networks shows actually what is the value bridge for this specific application of platform usage. And well, in future, we plan to have a Hardspoon sidechain with a double token. And one token will be native, and we will keep it as DAI for platform usage. And staking token will be a separate token, which will be not visible for regular users. And we think that this paradigm will be adopted by other projects. And this way, when you look into all dramas around level 1 solutions, for example, with Ethereum and how they compete with Ethereum. One of the problem is, okay, you can deploy your application on our chain, and this application can benefit from speed and empty capacity and price of execution, but also you have to make transition from one ecosystem to another ecosystem. With chains like xDai, it's not the same, because we think about this as like extension for existing Ethereum 1.0. And the native token on the sidechain is not competing at all, right? DAI is not competing with Ethereum volatile token, which is ETH. Well, our first network was POA Core, and we tried to make this, to solve the problem of scalability by having different consensus with DAO, which managed validator set, and quite succeed in this because it's working, and the model is adopted by multiple chains. And what is different between the POA Core and the xDai, which is the second generation of the same idea, is that the platform usage is non-volatile at all, right? When you think about Ethereum, you have volatile token price, volatile gas price, so it's two-dimensional volatility. With xDai, the gas price is subsidized by validators, like in almost any level 1 or level 2 solutions nowadays. It's subsidized gas price, and also the token is non-volatile. The decentralization assumption of this type of consensus are discussable. We call this minimum viable decentralization, is what is good enough for the experiments that we have now. And we can see that this type of minimal viable decentralization can power like largest pop-up economy, like happened in East Denver, with thousands of people used cryptocurrency at one place, and tens of vendors used to collect this cryptocurrency and off-ramp from xDai to DAI, from DAI to USD, well, within one event, right? But also, we know that we can claim that this solution is a minimum, is decentralized at the sense that it's not cross, like money service business or money transmission regulation, because validators are not able to modify balances of users on this network, right? So the model can be scaled in and scaled out. So that's the beauty of sidechains. For example, in vertical scalability, validators can beef up their nodes if they see more traffic. They can subsidize essential dApps, and we already have this with bridge operation. So bridge is whitelisted on xDai side. So validators it's free for them to aggregate signatures on the sidechain. So some opcos can be subsidized, and we plan to decrease price on elliptic curves. And also implement changes to EVM from Ethereum 1.x roadmap. So the R&D team can optimize protocol, which is also interesting when you have more than one R&D team working on the same concept. And here we know multiple companies working on the same type of protocol, and which are willing to continue to work on Ethereum 1.0. So the same can be applied with parallel sidechains, and this model is interesting for what we see now, that the model of shared security layer, like we have in Cosmos, Polkadot, Ethereum 2.0, is interesting from many perspectives. But if you think about users which are interested in their own sidechains with their own experiments, some of them are interested in having their own ecosystem, and they don't want to have shared security, and they want to have their own experiments. For example, Colo protocol, which launched on the network like xDai. So they used their own CLN token, which is ERC20 token, to hard spoon their token from Ethereum to the Ethereum 1.0 sidechain. And they built their own bridge, their own modification of the bridge for multiple ERC20 to multiple ERC20, which is not a use case for us, but a use case for them because they want to build something like DEX on their sidechain. Right, so they used bridges, they used EVM compatible network, they used the model of xDai, where the bridge is integrated into consensus. They used BlockScout, which is our open source blockchain explorer, and some other tools, but they launched their sidechain with their own, let's say, security model, right? They don't need to use existing security token. And well, security, I mean token which provides security to the consensus. And this is interesting for many projects which already had their own token offerings, because for them it's quite hard to convince their token holders that they have to use another token. And yeah, that's what people select. So it can be different application-specific sidechains. That's also desirable by projects. Right, the ecosystem of xDai started in October. It's like a community project, and now we see that it's listed on State of dApps. Like anyone deployed on xDai can deploy their own dApps. There are multiple wallets which are supporting xDai right now. The most exciting one is Burner Wallet because it's within the browser. You don't need to download it. It's open source wallet created by Austin Griffith. There was also a special version for ETH Denver, which is BuffyDai. And recently, Austin Griffith published an instruction how you can set up the event like ETH Denver event. So like instruction how to bootstrap this type of economy for your local event. Also, this model adopted by Portis Wallet, and they also integrate gas relays, which can allow dApps to use meta transactions on this chain. Which is a convenient way to send tokens because users don't need to pay gas for at all without having gas fee as 0, right? Because if we have gas fee as 0, then we might have some denial of service attacks. And with meta transactions, we less likely will have this type of denial of service attack. So also it's supported by DEX Wallet, Alpha Wallet, Status, and Nifty Wallet, and now it's supported also on Trust Wallet as a part of Trust Core. So there are multiple zero-knowledge solutions which are developing, and xDai, which is a winner of ETH Denver Hackathon, and Aztec is planning to implement their token model on xDai. And it works with custom RPC as any Ethereum 1.0 compatible network. And also it's interesting that the participation in the validator set is open, and the wallets are most interested party in participating in validator set. So there are applications from Portis, from Alpha Wallet, from MyCrypto, and from Burner Wallet to be validators of this network. That's like 4 new applicants with 4 existing validators, which we have now. So there also a blockchain analytic company, BlockC, deployed their analytics, and you can see the spike in the middle. It's a ETH Denver event. But also you can see that after the spike, people continue to use Burner Wallet, and the most interesting here that it's quite viral idea to send xDai and just experience this solution. I'm happy that other projects which are working on different stack, let's say with payment channels, are copying the Burner Wallet interface and ideas. So recently launched DAI card is copied interface of Burner Wallet, and that's good that the idea adopted. And I think that for us as an Ethereum ecosystem, it's great to have electronic peer-to-peer cash system within the Ethereum ecosystem and not within somewhere else, let's say Lightning. Well, we support Blockchain Explorer for xDai. It's a full-featured explorer. It's with all features of, most features of Etherscan. It's open source, so anyone can contribute. The dApps are migrating to xDai because, as I said, it's interesting for 2 types of use cases. For one is peer-to-peer payment use case, and second is convenient to use platform for smart contracts with empty capacity, and also with metrics which, let's say, mobile developers use to collect about their users, like lifetime value or price of acquisition of a user. So this type of metrics, it's easier to collect and easier to predict on a platform with stable platform usage. So that's why we think that this model of having execution token of the platform as a stable token will be used by other chains, and we'll be happy if this will be the case for new platforms. All right, so about the future of xDai, so we next week we are going to publish our new delegated proof of stake consensus, which sorry with the typo, is also implemented as a form of DAO. So it supports two token model. One token will be a native token with ERC20 to native bridge, and another will be a staking token with ERC20 to ERC20 bridge. So it will be a two-layered consensus, Honey Badger BFT on BFT layer, and POSDAO, which is our proof of stake decentralized autonomous organization for zero resistance and reward distribution. And the upgrade to Honey Badger will bring us censorship resistant. I think it's the only one censorship resistant protocol which is available as a library at the moment. So it's asynchronous, which doesn't have problems of synchronous protocols like PBFT and some others. It has on-chain randomness and instant finality. We are very proud to implement this protocol. And we recently had an official review of this protocol by GPO Mason from Kudelski Security. And yeah, we think that this protocol is ready for use in production. And the xDai DPoS system will be based on Honey Badger's underlying BFT protocol, and POSDAO, which is our Zibel control and reward distribution algorithm implemented entirely in smart contracts. And this model is also interesting because if you look into implementation of DPoS and different systems, it's quite hard to for most of developers to fork it and launch their own protocol based on existing delegated proof of stake with different settings, right? Especially if you want to modify some form, let's say, of additional reward for validators or delegators, and you want to let's say you want to take fees from the bridge and distribute it to validators, or you want to produce an additional staking token. If you think about this type of modifications to existing delegated proof of stake, it's quite hard. Right? It's usually on low level. It's distributed across files. You have to fork the client. You have to collaborate on your own fork. And we saw examples for EOS, for Steemit, and you know it's hard, right? This POSDAO consensus is implemented in smart contracts, so the good thing that will be audited as a whole thing, and also formally verified. And it's much easier to modify Solidity code than modify underlying code of the protocol. And the protocol can move forward, and your DPoS system will be implemented in smart contracts, so you can move forward with the protocol, or you can stay at some point and just wait for something, right? That's something that I expected to have in Ethereum for years, and we didn't have it, and now we see that it's transitioned to a new protocol. So I think this will give some opportunities for developers who are staying on Ethereum 1.0 to get this idea of delegated proof of stake on Ethereum, which brings us from the state of minimal viable decentralization to the true decentralization, because validator set will not be exclusive anymore, right? With delegated proof of stake, which is also interesting in this model, that staking token can be any token. So there is no vendor lock on someone else's token distributed in the way. If you look into some, especially recently launched protocols and validators of these DPoS protocols, you can see that many validators' names are like capital or VC, like if these are most funded validators, and that's because of the distribution of the token. This type of protocol can be launched with any staking token. For example, one can launch this post-DAO DPoS with Tether, which is most stable token, or with DAI, which is the most decentralized stable token, as a staking token. And there is like less problems like with nothing at stake attack and then some others. And mint their own staking token on the sidechain, and in some period of time, let's say in a year, they can switch from like one token model as a staking for two token models as a staking, or switch from one staking protocol to another. So I believe that delegated proof of stake should be a shiny new idea which will replace call-based networks for the most use cases. And we need to make this delegated proof of stake concept working without like previous problems like people claimed in EOS and some other chains about centralization. Yeah, that's basically it. Let's. Anyone want some free xDai? I'll generate some. I have a lot. Yeah, that's actually it's using meta transactions and. No, this one is not. This one is. Yeah, this one. If anyone wants to scan QR code on one xDai for free. No one. Come on. Okay, sorry. Ta-da. Did you get it? Oh, you just need to open it. Any questions so far? I will continue to generate money so you can. Yeah, well, now it's one xDai. So usually when I start with one xDai, like one or two people, now will be.
And then it's exponential. By the end of the hour, it will be like busy. I'm kidding.
No, not yet. Well, we have
Let's just open the browser.
Well,
where's the private key?
Yeah, private key in your local storage. So it's
Close my browser.
It depends on in which mode you are. If you're in private mode, then yes. If you're in like normal mode, then but you can go to advanced and copy your private key, and it's burn a wallet. And yeah, if you burn it, it's fine. So anyone, did you get it?
Yeah.
One xDai?
Yeah.
Okay. 5 xDai.
Why is it called burner wallet? What is burning idea?
Oh, that idea that it's a wallet you can use and forget about it later on. So it's there is no, as you saw, there is no like password creation or seed phrase or nothing like this. So it's designed for the fastest onboarding. Anyone got this 5 xDai? 5?
No, it's just claiming. That's it.
Well, if you're claiming that someone else claimed it, it's yeah, it's unfortunately. Okay, 10 xDai. Anyone? Ta-da, 10 xDai. No? Okay, so between 50 xDai and now, I invite you to go to forum.poa.network. There is a post-DAO subforum. We'll post our paper there. But for now, you can read a beautiful description of Honeybadger BFT, how it works. And it's, well, Andreas here in the red shirt implemented Honeybadger mostly with our team. And this is one of the most complex consensus algorithm out there, right, in implementation. And it's complex because it contains sub-protocols, and also we added some sub-protocols on top of this complex protocol itself, right? For example, to have dynamic validator set and distributed key generation. And these in this beautiful writing, you can get sense of this protocol and in human readable format. So I invite you to read all these 3 parts of how Honeybadger is working. So now let's give away 50 and 1, 2, 3. Are you ready? Okay, yeah, 50 xDai. So if you Yeah, my time is over, so it's the last thing. If it's saying claiming, that someone else claimed it. Yeah, within the burner wallet, you have exchange, right? And here you can off ramp from xDai to DAI, and from DAI to ETH. To off ramp from xDai to DAI, you're using bridge built by POA team, token bridge, and with 3 or 4 validators required to relay this event. This is MakerDAO, Protofire, POA, and Giveth. And when you off ramp from DAI to ETH, you're using Uniswap, right? So basically, this xDai to ETH is without custodian between you and DAI. Well, but when you off ramp from DAI to ETH, you have to have some gas. So you have to use some. Well, there is a gas station built in where you can sell some of your xDai and get some DAI. But yeah, that's a. When we think about bridges between networks, and we usually think about like one hop, right? Oh, let's move this from one network to another. In this use case, we have like 3 hops, and on ETH Denver we had 4 hops because there was additional ERC20 token built on top of xDai for convenience of vendors. Yeah, that's the future. Future is interconnected and multi-hops and non-custodial with different settings of decentralization, but designed to work for use cases. What I like about xDai, once again, that this ecosystem is not competing with Ethereum. It's a complementary thing. And it's scalable. So it's scalable both vertically and horizontally. It's open to use. It's still with exclusive validator set, like when anyone can apply, but still exclusive. And it will be migrated to more open and censorship-resistant consensus algorithm. And that's our plan for this year. Thank you, guys. So any questions? Oh yeah.
How does proof of stake work with a stable token or with like multiple tokens even? Because I feel like it's important that like once an attacker would buy up part of the supply, the price would rise and make it harder to attack therefore.
Well, attacks are possible, right, on almost any system, and here you can tune the number of validators and candidates, and so in our implementation of, well, it's a long story, but yeah, we basically have every epoch we have a fixed number of validators selected for this epoch, and up to 2,000 candidates which can be selected, and we use on-chain randomness. For now, for our testnet, it's RunDAO with consensus fault reportings, but in Honey Badger we'll have on-chain randomness, so we'll not need to use RunDAO. And out of 2,000 validators, 20 validators are selected into the epoch, right? And they have, in our design setting, they have equal reward distribution. So within like this 20, each block, the reward distributed equally between each validator, right? So no matter how big the stake is. But delegators can start to delegate on this selected validators, and the reward is separated within the reward of each individual validator between the validator and the delegators. And we have some protocols have like top saturation point, like after you delegate some amount, the reward of validators is not going down, right? We have bottom saturation point, so after a certain amount, the reward of validator is not going down between. So in the worst case scenario, validators will get, let's say, 30% out of 5% of their reward. So each validator will get like 20 validators, each validator get 5% reward, and within this reward, they distribute between all delegators and the validator. I understand that it's quite messy right now what I'm explaining, and that's how the reward distribution is working. Like, what if someone will purchase all staking tokens and will get all validator seats, right? It's possible, but let's say let's say we have malicious actors, which are trying to buy more validator seeds, but also non-malicious actors can buy validator seeds. And we have 2 orders of magnitude more candidate seeds than validator seeds. And this randomness, random selection will decrease chances of malicious actors if non-malicious actors will put more stakes to be candidates. So it's a game, and it depends how market will react. I think that on such a small chains like xDai, it will be hard to get malicious actors, right? Because no one cares about this, small type of network for now. And it's a problem for many chains how to bootstrap their staking token. Here, the good thing that you don't need to bootstrap staking token because you can use existing staking token, but give reward to the stakers in a different token, which will be a staking token in the future, and give some supplementary reward, for example, from exit fee or entrance fee from the bridges. So exit fee from the bridge is a natural way, right? Yeah, you have money, like you have xDai now. You don't need xDai, you won't die, because DAI you can convert to food, right? Or to drinks. So when you exit now, fee is 0, but eventually this will be non-zero, I don't know, 0.2% something. And for you, it's fine to pay 0.2 from $50 because it's still, it's a good deal, right? To get 50 DAI and after pay 0.2 to convert it to DAI, which is basically USD. So that's the exit fee will go to validators of the sidechain, and this will be collected on the bridge automatically. So that's the incentive model for validators of the small DPoS system, while the staking token is still brewing. And yeah, the price is, yeah, that's interesting to see. I don't know yet. Yeah, I hope to see more attacks on the algorithm. So please, yeah, in a few days we will release our paper, and we'll be happy if someone will put some critique on it. Yeah, any questions about anything else?
I was just curious, why did you choose to have a fixed gas price among the value? You had a comparison between...
Yeah, why gas price is fixed? It's more like psychological decision, right? You can subsidize gas price. You can say, yeah, gas price is 0. Like any transaction can be accepted, and malicious actor can write a script quite easy and just fill all blocks with transactions and will not allow other people to put their transaction into chain. So it's called denial of service. But not distributed, just denial. Just send transactions into blocks that are accepted. If we have price of one Shannon, right? Here, 1 gigaway, which is 1 Shannon. This price can be, it's fixed for now, but it can be increased. Validators can understand, okay, we're under attack, what are we going to do? The natural way is to make gas auction like in Ethereum. So the second idea, which is implemented in some protocol, is to have some like priority queue for transactions and some metering for accounts. Let's say if you have an account with a specific balance, you can send 100 transactions per day without being throttled, right? And this can be implemented, well, and is implemented within some modification of Ethereum protocol without any changes in consensus, right? It's just a way how validators agreed on including transactions. So for now, we have this gas price is fixed and subsidized, and it's only subsidized for like peacetime, right? On wartime CEO can do different things, right? And here there is no CEO, but this, let's say wartime DAO can think, okay, guys, we are under attack. What should we do? And they have multiple things to mitigate these attacks, right? Increasing gas price is one, priority queue and the throttling of transactions per account is second. Third is spinning more and more chains like xDai. If you look into World of Warcraft realms, they have hundreds of same realms, right? Where like up to 30,000 people can play on one server. So when they have more servers, people can move from shard to shard, basically, right? And with some form of bridge, where you can move all your stuff, but not your friends, between shards. So this gas price fixed to put this, okay, this is a baseline where we start if everything is fine, right? If we're under attack, then we can we can think about methods to prevent these attacks. And as I said, increasing gas prices one, priority queues which is actually started in Bitcoin, right? This priority queuing of transactions with small gas fee. And third is throttling of transaction on queues within the validator's mempool. Yeah, but that's if you put something 0, it's naturally people can start, DOS. At 0, you said 0. Well, here you have to pay small, but this price, and also increase price from 1 to 2, from 1 to 5, psychologically easier for validators than increase price from free to something, right? You promised free, now it's one way. Why? Yeah, that's just a game theoretical aspect of selecting parameters. Why 20 validators? Yeah, like what is a good number of validators in a network? What is a good, Sunny? What's a good network number of validators?
Number doesn't really matter. It depends on voting power distribution.
Yeah, voting power distribution. Yeah, but some people are referring to about 20, 21, right? When I'm saying about 20, there is a paper, Decentralization in Bitcoin and Ethereum by Emin Gun, and there are some claims about 20 validators. If you have a quorum system, 20 validators are good enough, and comparably decentralized as current state of Ethereum up to 2017. So like you select some numbers, it's act as baseline, and after you think, okay, how can we optimize it? Lunchtime! Lunchtime! Woo, lunchtime! Thank you.